Hey guys, this is Richard with gunsholstersandgear.com, and I'm here today to talk to you real quick about something I just got in. It's the ATI lower for an AR15. What it is a polymer lower. I know there's been a couple of other companies that have made polymer lowers in the past. ATI announced they'd be carrying the Omni lower earlier this year. And so I went ahead, contacted them. They sent me out a complete lower. You can get a stripped lower or you can get a complete lower. The stripped lower goes for just under 50 bucks. This one, the complete lower, comes with everything you need, including buffer and spring and everything. Six-point adjustable stock, or six position, excuse me. And this goes for just a hair under 130. So I got it in today, just picked it up from my dealer. I'll just go ahead and open this up real quick, let you have a look at it. Looks like a standard AR lower. You can tell there's a couple of things a little different about it. I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, but obviously your lower down here is all polymer. One of the things that you can also tell, flipped up here on the safe so you can see, serial number's been moved here. I know on a lot of ARs the serial number is up here toward the magazine well. But this being polymer, what they have to do is they have to take actually a metal piece and embed it in the polymer. So rather than put it up here and interfering with your magazine seating, it's back here just under your safety selector switch. You got a standard six position adjustable stock, standard pistol grip, and then all your standard hardware up here. Go ahead and pull this out real quick. You see, like I was showing you a second ago, there's your standard safety. You got all your normal internal workings here, your hammer and everything. Everything is supposed to work the exact same way, just as if this was aluminum, only it's polymer. I don't know how well you can see in here, but it's plastic, just like you'd find on a Glock or an M&P or something like that. Standard stock back here. Got your buffer spring down in here. Got your takedown pins here. Still a little stiff. It is brand new, straight out of the box. So they are still a little stiff, but you can see you can work those. No big deal. Alright, I'm going to switch the camera views around and let you see what it looks like with it mounted, or an upper mounted here on the lower. Alright, so here we've got the ATI Omni lower, and I've got it attached. This is a Rock River upper, 16-inch barrel, pretty standard stuff here. Like I said earlier, I'm pretty positive about the concept of at least playing with trying the polymer lower ARs. Polymer pistols have done very, very well. A lot of people kind of looked down on Glock when they first started rolling in the country, and of course now we see that the vast majority of police agencies are carrying polymer pistols. They pretty much dominate on a lot of competitions. Polymer pistols have proven themselves to be very reliable. So of course it's just natural that gun manufacturers are going to start looking to polymer lowers and other replacement parts made in polymer. Polymer, generally speaking, is going to be a little less expensive, and hopefully it's going to be just as durable. However, so far I am a little concerned about this Omni lower. Rock River upper. Also got I believe this is a Delton upper here. The Delton upper, I could not get it to mate to the lower here. Punched in there, or pushed in the front pin, and then it just would not seat back here. I probably could have forced it, but I don't want to mess up my upper or damage the lower trying to force something that just isn't going to fit. I don't know exactly what the problem was. It seemed to be hanging up back here. Now I will say that even this Rock River was somewhat difficult to get in there. Pushing the first pin in, getting that lined up, it wasn't too bad. But then trying to get this rear part lined up was exceptionally difficult. I don't know what's causing that. I don't know if there's something out of spec here. I will say this, that the I've got the Rock River and I've got the Delton lowers here. And the uppers swap out. I've swapped out some other uppers with these lowers in the past. It's never been a problem. Everything seems to be with my other firearms here seem to be spec, and they all seem to be working fine. No excessive looseness, no excessive tightness. So I'm kind of left believing that there's something going on with this Omni lower here, that things maybe just are slightly out of spec. Certainly things are very tight. Now, like I said, I was able to get this on here, as you can see. It is pretty tight. The mating between the upper and the lower is pretty tight. This front is a little loose here, so any movement you see from my front hand here is actually due to the front hand guard. But the mating here is actually fairly tight. However, that said, I don't know if you can see or not, but I still was not able to push this rear pin fully through. It's mostly through, but it's just not coming all the way through the other side of this lower receiver here. It goes through, obviously it's through this side of the lower receiver. It makes its way through the upper receiver, but then I can't get it to line up or push through. I'm not sure exactly what the problem is here. I've sat here and fiddled with it. I just can't make it work. So there's that. I'm going to have to play with that before I take this out on the range and start running 223 ammo through it. Obviously the consequences of not having your upper and lower properly mated and seated and affixed could be bad. And obviously I don't want to deal with gun parts flying everywhere, especially that close to my face. So that's something I'm going to have to try to figure out what the problem is and get that fixed before I carry that out onto the range. Maybe something I'm doing. I don't think it is, but obviously that's definitely a possibility. I do want to show you a couple of other things. Got a few magazines here. This is the magazine I usually prefer to use. It's a Brownells magazine. It's got the Magpul followers and spring in here. It's a fantastic combination. If I seat it in here, first of all, it's difficult to seat as compared to my other lowers. Alright, it's seated in there. If I press the magazine release, it's not dropping free at all, and that's a full magazine, so it's weighted down. So if I press this in, it's not coming out. I can actually pull it out. Now, this is a, what is this? This is an EMA magazine. EMA, it's empty. There we go. It's seated. Now this will, well, now the button is, there we go. It will drop free, but even that button is a little tough. Anyway, so the button is sticking a little bit. In fact, it seemed like it almost got stuck just open like that. I don't know if you can see here or not. When I'm pushing this button, this piece is actually, if you don't press it straight through, it actually starting to get kind of hung up there. And pushing on it, you can kind of see where that's causing a problem. Yeah, just doing like that. It's a little bit of a problem. Something else. Alright, so the bolt is locked back, right? Hit the paddle, or do you? Okay, that requires a lot of force to get done. 3 hits to get it to go forward. Not particularly thrilled about that. In all honesty, ATI in the manual, wherever I place that, does say that you need to get it out to the range. I believe they say about 150, 200 rounds to break it in. I'm hoping after 200 rounds all these problems, these little things go away. And it's very possible that they do. My concern obviously is just out of the box I'm having these problems. I don't know. Maybe it's a polymer thing. I don't think so, but I don't feel like out of the box I should be having these tolerance issues, these problems with things not seating, or with things not dropping free. Full magazine. Now, first of all, you got to be able. There we go. See, they're pushed in. Shouldn't have to do that. It should just drop pre-automatically. I'm guessing that the tolerances in here inside the magazine well are a little tight, and hopefully just working that's going to loosen things up. Obviously, a problem back here with your rear takedown pin I'm real concerned about. Everything else on here seems to be pretty much standard stuff. You know, you got your 6-position stock back here. It's adjustable. Doesn't seem to be any problems. Seems to lock in. You know, standard grip, standard safety here. You can see this is where the serial number is. Obviously, on polymer guns, you're dealing a little differently than you would with like either a billet or a forged. So they've got the serial number there. Don't necessarily like it there. You know, something forward or back here maybe a little nicer, but you know, what the heck, it's just a cosmetic thing. Again, we're dealing with a product that's $130 for the complete lower assembly, and about $50, $49.95 for just the stripped lower. So the price on it is very attractive. Hopefully I'll get it out to the range. Some of these little minor problems will be worked out, and for $130 I'll have a you know, complete lower that runs great. If I didn't mention before, it is not rated for anything and everything. It is rated only for 22, 223, 556, and then also 410 bore, 410 gauge, depending on what you want to call it. It's not rated for like 300 blackout, some of the bigger things. I kind of was playing with the idea, and this is probably a really bad idea, but playing with the idea of just getting a 50 BMG upper, attaching it to this. I don't know if I want to risk my my incredible good looks for that. But anyway, it's just an idea. Quite frankly, if this was rated for something a little stouter, I would love to build a 300 blackout on this. The 300 blackout still not incredibly cheap, especially the ammo that's out there. So if I could get a really inexpensive lower to mount to a decent upper, definitely makes it a little more interesting. But anyway, like I said, 556, 223, 410, and 22. Obviously, I'll be running this. Well, not obviously, but I will be running this in 556. So we'll have to see how it works. But so those are kind of some of my initial concerns. You saw me unbox it earlier. Again, this is the ATI Omni lower. If you got any questions, leave them down there on either YouTube if you're watching this there, or if you're watching it on Guns, Holsters, and Gear, obviously in the comments section. Leave questions, comments, concerns there. Also be sure to bounce over to Twitter and to Facebook, follow us there. If you got any questions, shoot me an email.